Hi, I am Mary Beth, and I'm going to be teaching you guys how to play with the Selesnya deck from Magic the Gathering, the Return to Ravnica block. Now, the Selesnya Conclave is is a guild that is based on spiritual and community growth, and its main object is to populate and to grow and overwhelm your opponent. Help you in defeating these other guilds. And let's first talk about populate. There are a couple cards that you can use to help you with your special Selesnya ability. The first one is your Guild Mage, the Vitsugazi Guild Mage, and it's 2 mana to cast, 1 forest and 1 plains, and it's 6 mana to create a 3/3 centaur creature token, and then it's another 4 mana to populate with that. So this is the card that's really good, and I'm pretty sure you get it in your starter deck. But one card that you do not get in your starter deck is Growing Ranks. There you go. This is a card that will allow you to populate at your upkeep. And as you can tell, it is, whew, I'm throwing cards everywhere. It is rare, but at the same time, if you can find this, it's very useful. I traded this for my friend because he got a booster pack, and he traded me this card. So if you buy a booster pack, or you know someone who has bought a booster pack, I would highly recommend that you ask them if they still have this card and try to trade it. And it is 4 mana to cast, 2 gray mana, and then 2 forest or plains mana. So that will help you with populate. And so with Selesnya, you have a lot of cards that are on the ground. But at the same time, you're also going to need cards that are in the air to defeat guilds like Azorius that focus on flying. Here are some cards that will help you with that. I recommend going for some low-costing mana cards, especially the ones with flying, so you can get those out quicker and you can fly over your opponent. Avon Squire, it's very nice. It's 2 mana to cast. It has flying and exalted, and it's common, so that is highly recommended. And then Eyes and Skies, which you will get in your booster pack, will allow you to put 2/1/1 flying tokens onto the battlefield, and it will allow you to which is like populating. So you can either use populate off of your 1/1 token, or you can populate off of another token you have. But this is a very nice card for flying, and even though it is 4 mana to cast, you still get 2 tokens out of it. So it's really, I keep on focusing over here. It's a really good card to have for your Selesnya deck. And and then there's Angelic Wall, which is again only 2 mana to cast, and it basically says the same. It serves as a wall. And then you don't really always need creatures with fly. You can also have creatures with reach. This is Deadly Recluse. It has reach and death touch for 2 mana. As you see, it's 1/2. And so you don't have to just mainly focus on creatures that fly. You can also have creatures that have reach, so they can also block those flying creatures. And this is really nice also because, like I said, it also has death touch. And then, so after you have, your standard creatures that are flying and on the ground, they're kind of low costing mana. They're kind of like low creatures, like low power creatures. So what you want to do is you want to beef up those creatures to have them attack your opponent while doing as much damage as possible. And there are some cards you can have that will help you with that. There's Wild Beastmaster. It's another rare, but basically what this does is whenever Wild Beastmaster attacks, each other creature you control gets +X until end of turn, where X is Wild Beastmaster's power. So if you are able to put several counters on this card, you can have a whole freaking huge army. In order to get those counters, there are some cards you can have. There is Common Bond, which is, here you go. It will allow you to put 2 +1/+1 counters on creatures. It is also a very nice card. It is common, so you can find it pretty easily. I found it in a booster. Actually, my friend found it in a booster and I traded it for him, but it can be found in a booster. And this is Collective Blessing. And creatures you control get +3/+3. And this is another rare card, but they're quite easy to find if you buy several boosters, or you can find them online for relatively cheap. But this is, yes, this is, sorry, I had a moment. This is 6 mana to cost, but each creature you control gets +3/+3, and it will make you a powerhouse. And then there's Course of Might. My friends like quake in fear at this card. It is only 4 mana, and for 4 mana, this is what you can do. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control and gains trample. Now let me tell you something. If you have this card and you populate at every one of your upkeeps, and then you have this card with all your tokens on the field, you could annihilate someone. I have literally gone after someone with 35 trample. So this is, and it's a common card. Like, this is like a card that you really, really want. I believe you get it in your booster. And so now that you've boosted up your smaller creatures, you can also go on to getting bigger creatures. And of course, you will get Wayfaring Temple in your starter deck. And Wayfaring Temple is his power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. Like I said, it works very nice with Growing Ranks, the one that lets you populate at each upkeep. So basically, and it keeps growing bigger and bigger the more creatures you get out on the field. So this, pretty deadly. And then there's Slime Molding, which is more of a Golgari card. But I prefer it in my Selesnya deck because it serves as a token. It becomes a token, so it will allow you to populate. And you put XX green ooze creature token onto the battlefield, and X is the number of mana you use to summon it. So if you have 10 mana, it will become a 9/9 creature. So that can also be very devastating. A 9/9 token that you can populate with, to be exact. And then there are other creatures you can get, like the Ducktail Worm and the Armada Worm. And then there is the Armada Worm. And yes, it does look like an armored penis, but we'll ignore that fact. But basically, this is a 5/5 worm with trample that also allows you to put a 5/5 green worm creature token with trample onto the battlefield. So you get 2 5/5 creatures onto the battlefield with only 6 mana. So, and they both have trample, sorry, but this is a really, really nice card. And then, oh, this is another. This actually is a land. It's Growth of the Guardian. And even though it serves as a land, it will allow you to tap 2 untapped creatures, pay 5 mana, only 5 mana, and then sacrifice this land to turn it into an 8/8 green and white elemental creature token with vigilance. So this will become an 8/8 token if you take the proper steps to cast it. And even though it is rare, I have 3. They're so easy to find. They really are. Like, if you have someone who's bought a booster pack, go after them. I have 3 of these in my deck. And people quake in fear at this one too. And then, of course, you are going to want to destroy. After you have all these huge creatures, there are still other ways you can destroy people in your Selesnya deck. There is everyone's favorite Tristani's Judgment. This will allow you to not put a creature to a graveyard. Oh no, this allows you to exile a creature. So you can exile a creature and then populate. So it's a double FU card. And it's 6 mana, but I think it's relatively worth it. And it is common. And so it's very easy to find. And so I recommend putting 4 of these in your deck because it will seriously piss off your opponent to no end. And then another one that will help you destroy your opponent's cards is Sundering Growth. This will allow you to destroy target artifact, enchantment, and then populate. So not only do you get rid of an annoying card, but you also get to populate with it. So that is how you can annihilate someone with Selesnya. Oh, and one more quick thing. If you're looking to get a Planeswalker, a really nice Planeswalker that goes along with Selesnya is Elspeth Tyrell. And basically, she will allow you to gain 1 life for, here, you can read it. So you gain 1 life for each creature you control. And then you can put more tokens onto the battlefield. And then in the end, you can wipe the field, leaving nothing but your huge, enormous tokens left. So basically, that is how you win with Selesnya. I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I'll see you later. Bye.